if I did this right.
Okay.
I wonder if they can hear us talking over this.
Are you talking about the kids?
That would be hilarious.
Ooh, the numbers are going down.
Yay!
Hey, it's us.
We're live. Oh my god. And the best part is there's actually people watching the stream apparently, which is amazing.
Hey, that's
There's
great.
not many of you yet. Hopefully we get to double digits later. But we'll see. We'll see. Welcome back to the Orchestration Hour. Woohoo.
With sky-high expectations of double-digit viewing.
Yes. Niall and I were talking about it before we started the stream, and the last one of these was in like late March or early April. So it has been about 7 months since we did a stream, which is absolutely wild.
When the weather gets bad enough, that's when I think streaming becomes like, what can we do inside that might actually, like, you know, raise our body temperature, or at least like cause a certain amount of like energy to be expelled. So I thought
you were going to say anxiety, like just stressing out about what we're going to do on the stream and not looking like complete idiots.
I mean, we'll do both of those things, which is nice. So because they are mutually exclusive.
This is true. This is true.
I think we can. So I am quite looking forward to, because we talked about this very briefly beforehand. So I haven't been. I've been away for a little while, but on holiday, and I know that before I left on holiday, I built a Halloween themed agent thing, and then told no one about it, and then forgot about it. So it's been sitting on my machine, and I wanted to show you. And then you said that you also have a Halloween thing you built, which I haven't seen yet.
Mine is I got so busy like trying to figure out how to make the form work how I wanted it to in task list. Because I wanted some like dynamic options, and
that's kind of fun.
Actually, I have to finish implementing it, but I made it so that every time you load the form, there's a different list of options, but it's all done through feel and like the random number generator. Some fun little things like that. We can show that off, but there's literally no BPMN process behind it. The new BPMN diagram that like that file in Web Modeler, if you open it up, it's a start event.
I mean,
and that's it. Like that's it.
That's half the job there. You add an end event, you guys have a process. Yeah.
Sure. It's half. I think though, I think before you show it off, because yours has AI in it.
Hey, very much so. Yeah.
Should we show it off first and then talk about everything that's changed in Camunda in those last 7 months, or do we talk about what changed first and then show off your Halloween thing?
Showing off what I did, I think is maybe giving it too much credit. I will show you the thing I spent an hour building, and then we'll go back and maybe talk about some of the features and stuff, because I think it might actually, here's the idea. Since it's built on like the new stuff anyway, you can maybe call out some of the random things that are like new features, and we can talk about it.
We're getting compliments.
That doesn't sound like us.
I think they're watching a different stream and they commented on the wrong thing. All right.
So let's show it anyway, and I'll talk through it, and then we'll use this as a catalyst maybe as we build something else. So here is the modeler, and here is my spooky Halloween costume agent. Now, here was my idea, right? So I have like if you want to make a Halloween costume, there's a few different options you have. You can tell them what kind of stuff you have, and then have a suggestion, right? Now, and I built that quite quickly. That wasn't too hard. But then I thought, if I gave it access to a shop that I could query, then it could like help make the stuff I have, but also add to it with a shop by contacting like a web shop to query for other things that might make that costume better, right? So that's what I built. So I'll talk through it and then I'll talk about how it's executed. So we can see here that it takes like a list of stuff you have or a picture or both. And then given that, it'll try to come up with a Halloween costume for you. And it'll also search shop categories and then use the categories it finds to search the shop for costume ideas. And then in the end, it'll describe the costume and the character that you should dress up as. So I'll talk about the execution shortly, but let's go and start this process. As you can see, I did not spend as long as you would on the form. I've what stuff have you got hanging around the house? So I have some of the stuff in front of me. I have some probably quite old wasabi peanuts. I have a book by Adam Buxton, which I have not started reading yet, which I must get around to. And I'll also add this stuff in the picture. So I'll just upload. And what I think I have is, I think I have a picture of the office. I was at the office when I was testing this in Berlin. And I think I added like the coffee area, just in the hopes that let's, cool. There we go. This is a picture of the office. So I'm going to start the process. So what ends up happening is, if this thing works, I should have tested it before now. So it started, it's got that data. This thing here is the agent, and the little tools inside are the little tasks are the tools, right? Gosh, I really should have tested this before doing this. Okay, no, it's actually doing stuff now, it's fine. So you can see that already it's deciding on stuff. It's searched for the shop categories, and it uses the data returned here to do a REST call to the shop on a specific category to get back all the stuff that's available in the shop for that category. And then it'll sort of combine that with the list of things I said I have, the stuff that can identify from the picture. Let me maybe show you the picture, because that actually might be relevant.
I was gonna say, we didn't see it when you were uploading it.
Yeah, so this is the picture. This is the area around the office where the coffee machine is and stuff. And
so basically, you're not very good at Halloween costumes.
I will be now, because I'll have AI to help me, and everyone knows AI only ever improves things.
Naturally.
Yeah. So we looks like it's finished thinking, and it's on this user task for describing it. So let's go back to describe costume. Okay, so this wants me to be an eccentric coffee shop owner / food critic costume. Jamie Mack, that is quite something. So it's basically explained that the kitchen equipment, so it basically saw the grinder and stuff, and that's my tools of the trade. This makes no sense. Coffee, okay, perfect prop for your coffee shop business plan. Is it? Okay. The wasabi peanuts, I'm not sure how they feature in. An experimental snack, force customers to try. That's actually not too bad, actually. I would like to force people to try wasabi nuts. Oh, that is actually interesting. Okay. And then let's look down here. So now you can see the stuff it found that it's going to suggest that I add to the costume. So it wants me to buy a white t-shirt for £73. Absolutely not. I don't care how professional I look. I'm not buying it. That's a crazy amount of money. The black t-shirt is so much cheaper. Anyway, so he wants you to buy two of those. Then for miscellaneous, trendy pink sunglasses. Okay, I'm kind of on board for that.
Yeah, I think you'd look good in like a nice pair of those like classic 60s heart red lens glasses. You should totally do that.
I think that's pretty good, actually.
KamunaCon 2026. Everybody heard it here first.
The budget option. Okay, so it's really asking me to spend $200 and something to something that doesn't, or pounds to something that doesn't really help. So I'm just going to say follow-up instructions. What do you think? Because it can take criticism.
I mean, you're in Berlin. Shouldn't it be euros? Anyway, but that's what I got distracted by. Yeah.
Yeah, so it depends on the shop, because it's querying the shop API. It's getting a response because I guess the items in the shop must be. Let's find out. I can probably see from the data here to see what it got back from the shop. Um, These are all the these are the categories. Clothes. Price. No, it just says 35. It actually doesn't seem to say a currency. So the agent just decided that I deal in pounds, which I do not.
I wonder if it kind of
Indeed.
picked that up from your location settings in your operating system or browser or whatever.
Maybe. I wonder, actually, that could be interesting. But yeah. Okay, let's actually, why are these... wait, let's ask. I'd rather pay in euro since it has a much cooler icon. That's the main reason I use euros these days. I don't know how to properly draw the pound symbol. It always ends up looking really weird when I draw it. So it's basically now I've been given some feedback to it, and now it's going to try and like come up with something else, I assume. But basically that's the thing I built. Now, if I had more time, I would add more stuff to. Oh, it just gave up. Like that's how this works. It's just like, I'm done now. I don't want any more of your crap now.
It doesn't give you an output, like there's not a final output saying this is the costume for you or something. You're just not displaying it.
This should be the final one, and once I agree to the costume, then it should finish. But I haven't really been specific enough about that. So in terms of how it is executed, you can probably see that it's using Bedrock. And because this is such an important process, I've decided to use Claude Sonnet 4 because this is worthy of the processing power that of a high-end model. And then we have a system prompt, which maybe is probably the problem. I don't know why name is a variable. Your main goal is to help someone with a Halloween costume. So this is the goal for the agent. And I've told it to do stuff. I haven't really done too much here. Yeah, and you can see here's where I put in the list of items, and here's I also put in the picture here, so it gets both as an input, and then yeah, the rest is pretty straightforward. And then for each thing, so let's see how these are related, right? Let's go this one first. So this is a really simple REST call. There's the URL, and basically the URL is just this like open REST endpoint. And you can see here that it requires a category slug, right? Or like specifically, this requires a category definition. And I've told the agent that this is a slug of a category you want to search the items for, right? And because it doesn't know the items, it then has to go here, because I've told this, use this tool to get a list of item categories available for sale in the shop. So it gets this first. And this is just a simple categories call that it makes. And once it gets that, it then knows how to use this. And so that's how it makes the calls. And then once it gets all back and stuff, then it all kind of comes together beautifully to give me a really bad suggestion on what Halloween costume to use.
We actually we did get a good suggestion for a Halloween costume in the chat. So maybe that's an idea for you for next year.
So funnily enough, I have an abandoned plant from the office right behind me right here. I stole this very plant from the office when the office was like, when we were like becoming more remote, and we decided to like, whenever, a little after COVID, I think. So this thing here I've been keeping alive for a while. So this actually is the remnants of a plant that was way healthier in the office, but now was taken over the Berlin U-Bahn to my house, and it lives happily here.
And you have managed to keep it alive, apparently, despite not watering it at all.
Actually, it is. It's been watered. So let me explain how watering has worked the last 3 weeks while I was away. So I created like a series of reservoirs, and then I linked them with the little tubey thing, and then I added like a ceramic pokeboy to go into the soil. And these are all technical terms. And
ceramic pokeboy.
Yeah, the important thing is
master gardener on stream. Here we go.
It worked. All my plants are alive. Like they survived for 3 weeks using this awesome system. Yeah. Anyway, that's slightly off
Anyway,
topic. So do you want to show me what your form looks like?
oh my god.
Oh, and I'll show you a form that I made that's also really wild, but I'll show you that next.
You want me to go first though?
Yeah.
That is that what we're saying? Cool. How do I share just this window? Sorry. Technical difficulties. There we go. Cool.
There you got it.
So,
let's feel.
So I lost my original feel expression, so I'm trying to create a new one here. So this is what I was working on. I can just close that. So I wanted to create a spooky short story generator, with the idea being that when it goes to the agent, it would I don't know, like there would be maybe one task that's maybe just a feel expression, just to kind of fake a few things behind the scenes. But maybe there's a task for like generate a character backstory or something. And then just kind of have it loop a few times until we had a short story. So it's like, hey, we need your contact information. So I was going to make it like a public form. You plug in your name and your email address, and it'll email you the story at the end. I was like, okay, but then we should have like a spookiness level, because like I don't want it to like I don't want it to generate like a weird random like terrible slasher thing like just like right out of the gate. So maybe like have an all ages one, or like a tiny bit of spooky, or make it really spooky. So at least give them the choice. And then in the style of like Victorian Gothic romantic, like horror stories are a thing, like Frankenstein. You could have a poem like The Raven by Poe, something Lovecraftian that's a little bit more like existential dread. Hitchcockian 70s 80s pulp, which is my personal favorite horror spooky genre. I really like the schlocky stuff. Or something a little bit more modern. So I was like, hey, okay, so we got those. And then I got to this setting and location. And I wanted, so like I went into ChatGPT and was like, generate a list of like spooky locations for like a scary short story.
Yeah.
And it gave me a bunch, but they were kind of modern. So I was like, okay, well, give me some like old timey ones that would fit in like a Victorian or a Gothic novel. And so now I have this long list, and it's randomized. And there's some good random settings in here for a task like this, but I don't want to display all of them. I wanted to find a way to show like a random 5
assortment. Yeah.
And so every time you would open the form, it would show you something different. This is not at all what I wanted Feel Copilot to do. I don't remember the exact expression that I was messing with, but it's something like you would get, what did I call this? All locations. This isn't supposed to be in quotes, is it? There. Now it looks better. It's something like all locations at random number. Is it floor of the random number times? Because the random number is between 0 and 1. So it's essentially like a percentage. So then it would be the length of all locations plus 1.
I don't think. Yeah, because it can't be 0, but it wouldn't be 0, would it? Because the array starts at 1, because feel is weird.
Let's just go to here.
That's an idea. All the tools that we have.
Okay, so there's our list of. Okay, this does want the quotes, so maybe I do need the quotes. Do I need quotes or not?
I think you do if it's an object that you.
Sometimes I think it's scary that people consider me an expert. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud, but
I'm glancing at the comments, and it kicked off with somebody saying, "Hi, expert." Who is that? Luan Lee.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously,
who also
there
had,
it is.
like,
in black and
and
white.
they have like an actual product question that we can answer or try to answer in a few minutes here,
That's good.
which is great. Gives us something more to do on stream. What does this give me? We're gonna do some random quick feel here. Yeah, okay. Random number. Do I have the link? Because I bet length isn't the right name, is it? Is it count? It's count. And it still gives me null. So we're off to a fantastic start here. Let's see. Do we have... I keep losing my cursor. I think the streaming software keeps sucking my cursor off to a different window. It's a little weird. What am I doing wrong, Niall?
I can't tell. I'll tell you why. I can't see your screen very well. So, because for me, I can see my stuff quite well, but I can't see the broadcast very well. So
I can zoom in a little bit, but that's not going to help you at all.
No.
Okay, so random number, right? Random number. Does random number work in this feel playground? I don't actually know.
I don't think it would.
Comma. It doesn't work here. So we need to go to the
you can use the one in the modeler itself, right?
Is there a playground?
No, I mean in like in the modeler you can create like a little pop-out lad. That's probably the latest version. That's going to use. So like if you use let me show you. Yeah, so let's imagine that.
Do I need to put your window up?
Yeah, put my window up for just real quick for a second. Yeah. So
throw you up there.
Cool. So what I'll do is, let's imagine I want to test out a field expression or something. So I'm going to add a little task in here. It's going to be a script task, and it's going to be a get location randomly. So very useful. And I'm going to choose field expression, and then this is going to be location. Funky. That's all kind of boring, but let's click on here, and here is where I can add the context, and I have the stuff. So if you give me the context file somehow, just the location.
Yeah, just the list of locations.
Just put something in. Yeah, just your list of locations.
Yeah, or just like an array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, that's also fine. So let's create like Berlin. Let's go with Dublin and Jakarta.
And I did get it working. So when you're done with this, we can switch back and I can show that I actually do sometimes know what I'm doing.
So now I can say something like, I want to get a random location from the list. So then it'll use the context here to try and see if it can help. And the cool thing is this is conversational too. So if the reason I quite like using this one is because if it does something that's a bit dumb or a bit too complicated or a bit too simple, you can sort of tell it and it'll actually iterate through it. So this is saying, look, whatever this is, locations, something, I don't know. I'm going to click use expression and I get Berlin. So what the hell is, okay.
That's the remainder of a division operation.
Wow. Okay.
or
So
something like
feel
that.
apparently does not have a built-in function for random selection. But so this
Correct. You
is
have to fake it.
yeah. So so this is what this has done, and it's gotten back Berlin. Um, I guess that might work. Something came back, but let's see. So basically, yeah. So it got the current second. That's how it did it. It got the numbers.
Ah,
That's how it did it. So it's
yeah.
pretty simple.
That
Let's
is
see if
not
I
what I'm
can.
going for. Let me switch back. I'm removing you. But that
Yeah,
I didn't know that I didn't know that Field Copilot did the doesn't have a built-in function. That's kind of cool.
there we go. Look, Jakarta now. Jakarta again. Dublin now.
Yeah.
That kind of worked.
So here's what I was doing. So before I go on, just real quick, there's actually two field playgrounds that are out there. This one, which is Niku at github.io. This is from Nico, one of our longtime engineers here at Camunda. He's in charge of the BPMNIO project. This is his field playground, and this is specifically testing Feel Scala, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Not the JavaScript implementation. So we have two different Feel interpreters. One is Feels, and they're both open source. So you're welcome to hop out onto GitHub and look these up. One is Feel Scala, which is written in Scala, and that's what runs on the back end. And then we have one that's called Feelin, which is JavaScript implementation of Feel. And so one of the tasks that the engineers have to do is kind of keep them in sync. And then on top of that, we have some built-in functions that Camunda built, that are not part of the Feel spec from OMG Group already. Random number being one of those that we built. So that's why this Feel playground is not able to figure out what random number is. It just returns null. Because in Feel, that's what happens when something doesn't work. You just get null. It doesn't give you anything more helpful like some other languages do. So that's what this field playground is. We also have on Camunda's GitHub.io site a field. Oh, this one's Feel Scala too. So maybe I'm getting
No, I think
but
the other one, Nico's one, is definitely a JavaScript one because
okay.
yeah, I think it was mentioned already in the comments actually.
Oh, yep. We're getting there. We go. We're getting schooled by our own Camunda champions, I believe, is
No,
who
I
that
think
is. So
I think fact checking is live fact checking is important.
yes,
And,
very much so. Very much so. And I do love that we were owned by, and that's their name too. So thanks so much. It's lovely. Okay, so here's what I was doing. I did get it working. So this is my list of all those locations. And what I was doing is taking a set number of them. So I wanted 5 to show in the form. And then I take a random number, which is this random number by itself returns a value between 0 and 1. So some sort of percentage. You multiply that by how many items are in the list. So then you get a random one, right? But you're multiplying by a percentage. So if you're, depending on where the random number comes out, you could get a value that's like 7.6. And that's not a valid index in the list. So you run floor, which drops it down to a whole number. So you'd get 7. But then Feel is not 0 indexed. It's 1 indexed, or whatever the term is for that.
Sure is.
And so you add 1 to fix the index and shift it over, because you don't want the random number to come up with 0 and then have it be try to pull the 0th 0 index, which doesn't exist, which would get null, which is boring and annoying. So here's the list of filtered items. You can see the first one here is like Towering Estate. And if we run it again, Decaying Abbey, and we run it again, a Foggy Train Station, run it again, Haunted Wood, Gloom Shrouded Manor. And yeah, and so there's the whole list there if I expand that out. So we do get a random list here. So this is my This is the ultimate expression that I want right here. So ta-da. So that's my list of locations. Although actually that's not even true because I need to give them the blind on my window just fell.
That was very spooky. I don't know if you planned that, but I was legit terrified when it sounded like you were being attacked by a pigeon.
The blind on my window just broke. And I was just telling Niall, so yesterday we had our Under the Hood webinar, which is our monthly technical webinar series. And like 3 minutes before it was supposed to start, it was supposed to start at 10 a.m. Eastern time, which is the time zone that I'm in. And it was like 9:57. And so we were about to hit like start allowing everybody in. You're going to be on the screen. Everybody get ready. And right then my docking station failed. Like my little ring light turned off, the webcam turned off, the microphone failed, the monitors went, like everything broke. And I had to scramble real quick. I just connected a new docking station yesterday afternoon. They happened to have one in stock at a store downtown. And now my blind just broke.
I think this is clearly a consequence of the fact that your house is built on the grave of a deprecated JavaScript library.
When was JavaScript invented?
That's a good question. I'm going to say like 2005.
Because I know when my house was built.
2005, maybe? I don't know.
1995. JavaScript was invented in May 1995 by Brendan Eich, a developer at Netscape Communications Corporation. It was initially named Mocha, then LiveScript, before finally being named JavaScript in December 1995. So JavaScript was invented 6 years after my house was built. So
I think it stands to reason that it was built on the grave of a deprecated library. And although considering how badly it affected your Windows, maybe it's a C# library.
Maybe.
Man, I'm dragging up some nerd jokes. Come on, I hope someone out there got a chuckle out of that one.
I mean, I laughed. I'm not sure if I laughed because it was funny or just like out of pity, but that's okay.
No, I think both.
Anyway, this should actually be key one value that, because this actually needs to be because it's going into the select list, so we need to have a key and value. I think I'm going to leave it there, though. I am going to come back and finish this, and maybe I'll throw it up on GitHub because I thought I had some good ideas here. And then you would select like a random location and then give so many additional like keywords, like make it unique, right? So if it's run multiple times, even if everybody selects the same location, like if everybody selects an abandoned ballroom illuminated by ghostly chandeliers, then you can at least add a little bit of your own flavor to it with just some random words. Like just seed it with something weird. And then I started working on like a random character list too. Optional, but you could add, your brother's name or your kids' names or your partner's name or whatever to kind of make the story a little bit more personal and fun.
I like that idea. That's really, really good. That's very cool.
And then, like I said, the model for this, it still says new BPMN diagram and it's just a start event. Oh no, I actually added I added a little bit.
Man, this is a classic like
wait, I have
like
to make it proper.
Over deliver. There we go.
There we
go.
There we go.
You certainly over delivered in the promises of a single start event. That sounds good. So I will show you my weird little form creation because I also, it reminded me of a little while ago, I was also messing around with forms, and mine does have a process associated with it. So this is an escape room that I built with Camunda Forms. But the way it works is we have a start event.
Oh, I remember this. I've seen this. Yeah, good stuff.
Oh, you've seen this? Yeah.
I have.
I haven't published it anywhere. I think I must have showed you what I was building while I was building it.
Yep.
And so you complete the escape room. You have 2 minutes before the timer event goes off. Then we'll check your score through DMN, and if you did it well enough, you get a prize. So I'll show you how it works. So I'll start the escape room. Cool. So here it is. So I've got 2 minutes to fill out this form. So my name is and remains Niall. Country, Germany. Germany. There we go. Best number. It's got to be 18.
How many years do you have to live in Germany before you know how to spell it correctly?
Well, I don't know how to spell Deutschland yet, so I'm still working. This is still the immigrant version of spelling the country. So there's the optional tick box. Good stuff. A ghost asks you a question. What's BPMN stand for? You get to select some options: business process, model, and notation. Good stuff.
Bad planning makes nothing.
Yeah, a brilliant
100%.
pants, moderate napkins, bad planning makes nothing. Yeah. Now another room opens, so I'll tick that box, and you see 2 flags on the wall. Which countries do they belong to? So I've got some options here. So
I do feel like Mary's right that you failed here. The best number, shouldn't it be 42?
Yeah, but that's so cliche now. Also, I'll explain why later on. So then a key appears, so I can click on the key. That's pretty cool. And then I have to add the password. And so I have password hints. So if I want a hint to the start of the password, Cam. If I want a middle, something, and the end is 1, 2, 3. So then I can start typing something, and
it must match the pattern. Kamunda 1, 2, 3.
Exactly, yeah. So the actual thing is here, so that's not too difficult. Okay, so I think we're done. So now I'm going to complete the task. Okay, cool. I did that in under a minute. Where's my process gone? Oh, it must be here somewhere. There we go. Okay, so I get a prize. So it went through a DMN to check stuff. So if I open the DMN table, you'll see that if I ticked the optional checkpoint.
Look at that, 42 is a number. Don't panic.
Exactly. That's exactly why I added that. So if you put in 42 as the best number, you get a point.
Don't lie. You didn't remember that was there.
No, I did, yeah. If the best number is between 1 and 25, low numbers are good, so you also get a point. And if the location is Ireland, Germany, India, or South Africa, you get a point because Niall likes these places. I got to update that to other places I like, actually. And then just for escaping, you get a point. So if you complete it on time, you get a point. And that's my little DMN table. Where's my process? There we go. So then I collect a prize. So let's see what that is. And congrats, you win a fun fact. The Dolmens Hall of Fame is located in Carroll, Wisconsin. You could actually visit that. You're not too far from that, right? You're in Michigan, right?
I'm looking it up right now to see how far away it is.
So yeah, that's a fun fact. So the prize is actually just the prize of this is actually me just querying a useless facts generator.
Okay, we're gonna give a quick plug to the Dull Men's Club. And they have the Dull Men's Hall of Fame is inside of the Dull Men's Club about us. It's okay to be dull.
Yeah, you see, I
celebrating the ordinary.
These are the kind of people who would really enjoy my programming jokes. So yeah, there we go. That's how my escape room works. I haven't finished it yet because there's some other stuff I want to add to the form. But the form itself is kind of fun to build because most of the stuff relies on you clicking on things to reveal the next thing and getting stuff correct. So I kind of like that.
Oh, I might have to buy this if I can. Oh, currently unavailable. That's not fair. Neil, celebrating the ordinary. Neil collects bricks. Kevin is a roundabout enthusiast. John runs the Apostrophe Protection Society. And Keith's actual job is watching paint dry. They are members of the Dull Men's Club and passionate about the everyday, unglamorous things in life. Oh, I love that so much, especially in today's day and age where everything's so fast and you're supposed to be trendy and on top of stuff. I think I'm okay with just being dull.
If you're interested in relatively quiet and dull places that are definitely not following up with the times. I think the British Isles are for you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Anyway, I totally got distracted by that. I don't even remember what you were talking about before. You're finishing the escape room.
Well, I've now succeeded in the escape room. So I'm going to make that more complicated and then try to release it to the public into the thing so everyone can give it a go.
We do have one request for it. So
there we go.
At least other one people person want to play the escape room.
Shall we answer the question that Luan Lee had?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's do that. And then let's talk a little bit about where Camunda sits with AI. And then kind of close out this hour-long stream talking about some of our plans for the future, hopefully, which are very informal and not written in stone at all. So please don't hold us to anything we say.
Yeah, they are not as well organized as this particular episode, where we very briefly discussed beforehand Halloween and subsequently it went very well. So this question is gives me the idea that this person is using Camunda 7 because you don't need to serialize objects at all in Camunda 8 because they're already natively in JSON, so they're already serialized. And this was one of the biggest pains in the behind with Camunda 7 was when you were using Camunda 7 to and orchestrating loads of different external services. You needed to serialize the objects to properly pass them to the external services. And the issue, of course, is that the deserialization isn't working correctly for whatever reason. And I think one thing, while I don't know all the details about it, two things come to mind that is worth remembering. The first is that Camunda 7 has been deprecated for about a month now. So maybe consider solving this problem by moving to Camunda 8 and you won't actually have a serialization issue. But secondly, if this is Camunda 7, then you should be able to use Camunda Spin, I think it was called, which is a library for serializing JSON objects directly within gosh, if I remember that correctly, you can. It's a Camunda Spin was a library that we used to use for serializing objects. Is it still a thing?
It's in the documentation, so I'm going to say yes.
Cool. I would use that. Oh yeah, there it is. There's a JSON serialization for it. And if you want to go back, you can use XML as well for some fun old school serialization.
Yeah. So Luan, if that didn't answer your question, and you're still watching, feel free to shoot me like a direct message on the forum real quick if you have like a code example or something, and I can bring that up. That's probably the easiest way to share something. But there was a part two. There was a part two, which applies to I think both C7 and C8, which is it recommended to store that in an instance variable?
Not usually. To a lesser extent, that's definitely true of Camunda 7, to a lesser extent Camunda 8. Because Camunda 8 is native JSON, it means that usually you can store more complex objects easier. Now, in general, if the object you're storing is an entity object from a third-party data source, you should always just imagine that the version that you're playing with in Camunda is a copy. And therefore, best practice would be to always get the data and use it when needed, and then store a reference to that object in a JSON variable through the rest of your process so that you at least have the metadata of where to find the object you're looking for. But there's also a really good reason to take down a copy of it, and that would be for auditing reasons. Because the entity data is maintained in an external data source, it's very possible that it could change. So let's imagine that you're going back in time and you want to check, hey, what was the value of that entity data? Like, what was the address of that company when we granted them that loan? Well, in that case, it might be actually kind of valuable to store that data within the process data, because then you can go back and see what the value was at the time. If you only stored the reference to it, it's way more difficult. So think about the future when you're building processes about how you will audit or how the auditing might be required for the data. And that's usually a really good way of knowing exactly how much kind of data to store.
Yeah, I think it's what data do I store? How much of it do I store? I think that's a question that comes up a lot. And of course, the answer is always like, do the minimal amount that's needed to make the process function. Like, that's kind of my simple
Yeah.
answer to that. And for some processes, that is going to mean you do have a pretty big chunk of data in there, especially like the agentic processes now. Like, you have a very long system prompt, you have a very long user prompt that are going into that. And those are kind of some considerations as you're building that stuff out. With C8
Yeah.
also, I'm sure that it affected C7, but in a different way. Because I'm not super. I came on with C8. I admit that I've never really used C7 beyond just like, oh, I launched it and I saw what the interface is like and cool. And basically everything else I've done has been C8. So like within C8, the other thing to keep in mind too is as you add that data to your process, that's all being exported and written to Elasticsearch or whatever your cold storage is. And so that will sort of it could potentially increase some delays as it's exporting that data because there's more of it to export. You could get a little bit more slowdowns, back pressure from that. So there's a balancing act to be had there as well, not just in terms of like how do I want to audit this and what's needed to run the process, but also making sure that you're running it as efficiently as you want it to be.
Yeah.
And then to quote our co-founder, it depends, right? Like it absolutely depends on the scenario, the process, what you need, what the backend services that you're connecting to are. Like there's so many variables there that it's not like a one size fits all solution.
I have a cool quick rule of three to think about when you're deciding what variables you need to do. The first one you already mentioned, which is what are the minimum variables needed to make the thing run? That's rule one. Take a look at those. Second, what are the variables you would need in order to solve a technical problem that's happened in the process? That's part two. So that's thinking about just the process running and then thinking about a DevOps person investigating an issue that might be happening. And then the third one is thinking about reporting. What data being stored in this process will be useful to help improve this process in the future or to help auditing this process? You should think about those things during design time and have those in mind before you then start actually implementing whenever possible. But that's basically the three places you'll need the data the most. Just the process running, being able to solve problems, they're seeing metadata of the process, and then finally like reporting and auditing of your process.
Very good, very good. You should write a blog about that.
Yeah.
sounds like part of your job, maybe.
Is it? Oh dear. That's good news. I mean, I'll have to learn how to spell Deutschland in that case because it's bound to be useful at some stage.
That's all right. Blogs. You're just going to feed it through ChatGPT and it'll fix all of your typos.
I never do that actually. Out of mainly, and this is mainly because I really love our copywriters at Commanda, and I really want them to enjoy what it feels like to have to correct all the stuff I actually do to the English language as part of writing a blog post. So it's a gift to the lovely people like Danny and to a lesser extent Perel and Dorothy as well, who has to read all the descriptions of videos and things that I write. But yeah, it's all human crafted.
Let me I want to share this real quick because we're talking about AI. I gotta see if I can share this screen because I also don't want to like put anything I should be showing up on the screen. So I experimented. I do not use ChatGPT to write content either, but I've experimented with it because other people are using it. Everybody swears by it. And we've been working on a lot of Camunda 7 migration content. And so I was like, hey, like we have a lot of really great stuff that Mary's team, hi Mary, has put out, Mary and Bernd, and so many other people that I couldn't even like name it. Well, I'm babbling here to try to save time so I can share the correct screen. And it's not working.
The suspense is killing me. I do love that you're able to create that kind of suspense for these things. What will Nathan be showing?
share this window. Okay.
Ooh, it looks like a migration guide.
Okay. So I asked ChatGPT, I put it into deep research mode. I fed it a previous, like the transcript of a webinar that Marion Baird and the migration team had put together. I sent it a couple, like our documentation, a couple blog posts, a couple repositories, and was like, give me a guide step by step. How do I migrate from Camunda 7 to Camunda 8? And this is what it came up with. And it was actually like pretty decent. Research completed, 21 different sources. Like it did a lot of work, but it was incredibly long. And I was like, this is way too long for what I want to do. Like this is just way too much content. So as an experiment, somewhere down here, conclusion, I don't want to spoil what I'm getting at. It's like, okay, so that's pretty impressive, but like 14 pages is like way too long. Let's get it 60% shorter, so it's like 5 or 6 pages long. What cuts do you want to have? Make cuts wherever they make sense. Great. I'll trim it down by roughly 60% into a digestible 5 to 6 page format. Research completed, 15 sources, and then it gave me a PhD thesis on the state of nuclear fusion, recent breakthroughs and future prospects. And this entire post, like its entire thing, it doesn't mention Camunda or process orchestration. Like it didn't stumble on like somebody using Camunda or BPMN to manage nuclear fusion or anything like that. Like there's no mention of that in this whole thing. And it's like, hey, why'd you give me an essay about nuclear fusion? And when I asked you to like rewrite the content you literally just gave me, so it should have been in context, it should have been in the memory for this session with ChatGPT. And it's like, oh, you're absolutely right. It's way off topic. I'm sorry. I grabbed the wrong draft and pasted it here by mistake.
Oh.
So like, not to call out OpenAI, but also like calling out AI in general. Like, I don't know. It was that was a strange experience.
For me, it actually makes me feel closer to the AI. Like they're just like us. How many times have you copied and pasted the wrong thing from places and then put them?
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
do we think it's lying to us? I think in order to lie, you have to understand what the truth is, and I don't think AI knows that.
We should create 2 bots, one that always lies and one that always tells the truth, and see what kind of conversation they have with each other.
We'll make them guard a door, and then it'll be the logic puzzle.
Yeah, but that could be kind of interesting, because then you get the one that tells the truth is bound to lie eventually, because they're all supposed to tell the truth, and the one that lies isn't going to know necessarily if it's definitely lying for sure every time, because Twitter. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? Well,
I had. Never mind. This is way off topic. Never mind. I wanted to build a video game. This would have been 10 years ago now, if you want to put that in perspective of like global politics and whatever. I wanted to build a game where you were trying to get elected as like a leader of some fake country, but the interface was Twitter. Like you didn't have anything else. Like you had tweets coming in from like news media outlets, and you had to react to them, and you had like outrage meters and stuff. But at the time, like this was 10 years ago, so there wasn't ChatGPT, there wasn't anything like that. You had to try to do it all with like natural language libraries. Like what's the Python NL toolkit, NLTK or something like that in Python. And it was just I'm not a smart enough person to do that from scratch on my own, so it never happened. But I thought that would have been such a fun game to have, like a social media like interface, and it's just about influencing people through your responses. Maybe we need to build that with an agent and a chat interface. We have a chat interface for Camunda now. We should probably show that off in a future stream. One of our
future streams, put it together. Future streams.
Yeah. I got off topic. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what are the future streams? We'll be doing.
So announcements to kind of close this out. We have the Orchestration Hour, we're planning on every month, starting today. That includes next month and the month after that. That's what every month means. So we're planning on going every month, at least well into 2026, as long as it's still well received and everybody's enjoying it. Hopefully you are. And we're going to do it the third Thursday of every month. So today happened to be the first Thursday. That's just sort of how it wound up with current availability and kicking things off. But starting in December, third Thursday, I like how my fingers disappear. The third Thursday of every month. Or wait, am I supposed to do this? Yeah. There we go. The third Thursday of every month. And then at the same time, 10 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central European time. So that'll be the third Thursday. Join us here. We'll be live on YouTube. We'll be live on Twitch. And we're debating, should we go live on LinkedIn at the same time? I have never watched like a live broadcast on LinkedIn. I don't know what that experience is like. I don't know if anybody even uses it, but that's an option we're talking about. If anybody has an opinion on that, please let us know. So we've got that. Third Thursday every month, 10 a.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Central. We'll see you live. In terms of what we're going to be doing, it will mostly be Niall and I doing weird things. We do plan
I think the reoccurring segment of like what weird things we've been building, I think will be kind of fun.
100%.
Because we always spend a lot of our time building weird examples and stuff. So I think we should keep that up. And I also like that someone brought a question. I love questions. So we should also probably, people can bring their random questions. And if we know the answer to them, we'll answer them. And if we don't, we'll pretend we know the answer to them.
Yeah. Or if we stumble on like a really great forum question or a support question or something from the couple of weeks before, we can include that.
Yep.
We don't have like a set agenda for him going forward. So if there's any ideas that you'd like to see, feel free to let us know. Probably the best way to do that is on the forum. There's under the announcements category, there's an announcement for this stream. You can just reply to that. That's a great way. Or you can email us community@camunda.com. Please give us your suggestions. I have been chatting with a couple of our engineers. So we're going to have some special guests on a couple of those streams next year. Hopefully try to keep it fun, try to do some live coding, build out some live demos. That is the plan. So this live stream is meant to be the casual, fun, hands-on experimenting. Then we have the Under the Hood technical webinar series, which we've been doing monthly this year. I believe we kicked it off in March was the first one. March or April was the first one. We've done a bunch this year. The recordings are on demand. If you haven't looked at those, go to camunda.com. There's a resources menu option at the top, and then under that is on-demand videos. Click on those. You can view the recordings. Those are technical webinars. These are not webinars that are meant to like sell your boss on process orchestration or the benefits of it or how to run a COE or anything like that. These webinars are hands-on with the product and code itself. The last one we just did was upgrading from Camunda 8.7 to 8.8. That was the one yesterday. So that was hands-on with Helm charts. We showed a live demo. We talked about the architecture changes. We had one on dual region. We had one on building a custom exporter and testing it with C8 Run locally. We have one coming up next month on December 10th at 10 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central European again. And that one's going to be about MCP. So using MCP with Camunda. What is MCP? Model Context Protocol, for those who might not know that off the top of your head, which is an AI agent-to-agent communication protocol. So how do we use that with your processes? How can you use the inbound and outbound MCP connectors? So that'll be in December. We are going to take a month off in January just because of holidays and vacations and all of that. But then we'll be back in 2026 with the webinar series. And also in 2026, the last big announcement, we're bringing the podcast back. The podcast will be back in 2026. I'm really excited about it. I'm sort of surprised how many other people have been excited about it. But we're going to bring the podcast back. And I want the podcast to be a little bit more behind the scenes. Like I want to talk about some of the decision making and architecture decisions, and I want to get a little nerdy with like some of our architects. And then I want to, I don't know, maybe we'll try to get our events team on and we'll grill them about how they put together KamundaCon every year, and like what are, without giving away the trade secrets, like what makes KamundaCon the awesome event that it is, and what's all the hard work that goes on behind the scenes, that type of thing.
It would be great, actually. I think if we got Philly on, we could ask her to describe some of the ideas she had for KamundaCon that she never managed to actually implement. Because
that too.
Philly's had so many insane ideas that I've always thoroughly enjoyed.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah, that I think it's worth hearing. Just the stuff that it's attempted. Yeah, that should be a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm writing this down. So we've got all that going on, lots of good stuff. And that's on top of the usual, we have regular webinars as a company just showing off product features. Make sure you're keeping an eye on that. Same thing on Kamunda.com under resources. There's upcoming events. For those that are still working with C7, which we talked about earlier, we have a migration lab coming up. I think that's in January. January 15th. There's a Kamunda 7 migration lab that you can register for. Lots of good stuff coming up. And then, just like general Kamunda announcements, which shouldn't be much of a surprise, we're working on the 8.9 release, which is going to come next year. So we'll have
after 8.8.
I know, it's funny how numbers work that way. So we'll have some alphas and some tests to show off in a couple months here also, which will be fun because we always manage to break it. Well, Niall always manages to break it on stream, so that's always good.
It's great. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's an alpha build. It's made to be broken.
Absolutely. I think with that we'll sign off for today. This was a very informal one. Thank you so much, everybody who joined. Looking forward to having you all join, hopefully in the future. Thank you so much. We'll see you online.
Bye bye all.